if your emotions are right, then you're in touch with your mind and you're in touch with your spirit. If you disrupt your emotions, you're not going to be like that. The extreme is disrupting that chakra where you become depressed. When you're in a depressed state, you don't take anything in. You're lost in a dark place. That's kind of like where they want us. But they want us in a place where they can manipulate us. When they say, do this, we do it. How many people in this country went against the no smoking ban when that came in? Very few people rebelled against it. Very few people knew that Adolf Hitler had done it in 1932 in Germany. When you point that out to people, people go, what? Are you off your head? Oh, that's history. And you just think, the establishment has done a fine job on you. It's shut you down from lateral thinking. It's shut you down from going out of that thought box you've been programmed and conditioned with. And that's where they win. But music might prick that person's consciousness and go, hang on, yeah, absolutely seeing things from a different way now. Yeah, I'm with you. Wow, why did I not see that before? And it's like, well, if you're in an altered state of consciousness, you're not going to see it. And we all know when we get stressed up, you suddenly see things through a blinkered viewpoint. You don't see the wider picture. It's only a few days after, when you calm down, you start to see it. And that's what the government are doing to us. They're putting us into that blinkered state. And one of the biggest ways they're doing it is through pop music and through repetitive music, through mobile phones, what's on TV, theme to Coronation Street, theme to EastEnders. It's all there subliminally, but we're taking it in. But we're also taking it in with chakra as well, which is shutting everything down. So when you find a bit of music that you do like me personally, I like thrash metal, I'll put that on, I'm really happy. And nothing's going to stop that. You know, it puts me in a good mood. Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I'm going with that. The government don't want people like me like that. The government just want people like, oh yeah, Friday night I'll go out, I'll dance to some pop shit, come up during the week, I'll watch EastEnders and go, hey, yeah, I'm a free person. It's like, we all know in this room, life's not like that. Life is about living as individuals. Life is about creating whatever you want to create and get a message across to somebody else, communicate with them. But music has always been there, and music has always done it, and music will always do it. Where we talk to each other through music. Music is like a life force of its own. Just to prove that point, there's been experiments done with plants where they bombard the plants with different types of music. Classical music and rock music are the two best musics to encourage plants to grow faster. If you play stuff like Kylie Minogue to a plant, it don't grow well. Sometimes it withers and dies. It's a fact. You know, a couple of years ago, I tried this on some door plants I were growing, and yeah, it works. It's amazing. Like a door plant on a nice sunny day will grow 1 inch, 2 inches. You play classical music all day to it, it'll go 3, 4 inches. Same with rock music. And one day I borrowed some dance music off my daughter. I played it to a couple of these plants. When I compared them to the other plants in the other rooms, they were half the size. And I sat down with her and I said, look, you're a nurse, you're an intelligent girl. What do you think of this? And she said, I'm amazed. So maybe you're not a fruitcake after all, Dad. But, you know, I got across to her what music can do to you and how it does affect you. Hopefully I've got it across to you tonight as well, to wake you up to the fact that music can be used for good or used to kill, because music isn't just a noise or a sound. It affects the vibrations, it affects your mood, it affects your soul, it affects your spirit. Thank you. Are there any questions?
I've got a point to make. What you're saying about the riots, something that was destroyed in the riots. You know about that, the Sony warehouse?
Yeah.
The Sony warehouse only stocked independent labels. So with what you were saying about them wanting to phase out the creatives, the interest in the music from the soul, that wiped out and is going to kill loads of labels. Loads of labels are going under because of that and will never be able to operate again. During the riots, which were a false flag, weren't a false flag, who can say? No other businesses were targeted on that estate. No other warehouses got burned in the whole thing. It was out of all the other riot zones. This one warehouse that had the whole of the UK, well, not the whole of the UK independent music scene, but a massive portion gone, everything destroyed.
Yeah.
Says something, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
The other point I was going to raise, do you know anything about, is it, you might know, so is it 5, the kilohertz of the notes that were on, is it 5, 6?
I'm not sure, sort of DNA.
Is it 525?
528.
528 is what we're on, is it? And we should be on. 528 is what we should be on, but we're on 44 or something. When you tune a piano, the resonance of the note.
Well, I just got introduced to 528 frequency.
It's 528, I think
solfeggio,
it is,
those
yeah.
are really good.
528 is supposed to be the natural resonance of the notes, and what we should all be. But it was manipulated in the 60s or 70s, I think, or maybe earlier, that we tuned to 4, I think it's 444 or something. Another nice round.
Yeah, there's a few different ones.
It should be this natural one. When you said that they changed the music system, they corrected yourself. I thought, no, they did change the entire music system, the way that we should impart music to each other. Standard tuning is now wrong and shouldn't resonate, doesn't resonate properly with us. That's just my point.
No, I couldn't go along with you fully.
Good ask.
You know, it's like...
Has anybody been to the caves of Drac in Spain and listened to the water, the Handel's water music, I think it was, and it was all coming on the water, and it was the most wonderful sensation I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you've been, but it's classical music, and of course that would start from the C note.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is a beautiful sound.
Yeah, I'm aware of Handel's music, and yeah.
If you ever haven't been, it's well worth going to listen to it.
It was in a cave, it was, underground, and we walked about, I don't know,
seeing all the
500 yards down, and
stalagmites.
everything was black, and it was just a gondola coming across the water, across this really cool reflected pool, all lights in
it's
there.
absolutely out of this world.
And the whole, everything was just these a quartet of fiddlers,
Playing.
string quartet, and what else was playing? The squeeze box, was it?
Oh, well, I just remember the violins.
The atmosphere in that cave was just brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, just undescribable. Like it was really,
I mean,
like world stopping. It was just cool.
I mean, you can break that right down to what the Christianity is known about sacred geometry and about the resonance within inside the churches.
Yeah, it was the arches and stuff.
There's a natural frequency, and they're harnessing into it, and either using it for good or using it for bad.
Just on that note as well, in the medieval times they kind of like manipulated music as well, because you weren't allowed to play a certain note. I just think it was a chord in D, I think. But you weren't allowed to play it because it sounded evil to them back then.
Yeah.
But also it kind of gave the impression, it was the most easiest chord to get into from any other chord, but you give the impression that because it was easy, that being evil was natural.
Yeah.
So they actually banned it from old churches as well.
Yeah.
You could put it anywhere.
Yeah.
Or the opposite, that they said that it was all the bad note, it was probably the really good note.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
in the Wrexham Chapel, apparently the angels in total,
Devil
the arch.
is it?
I think so. But the angel that's on the arch, you know the arch that's got all the diamond shapes on it, and apparently the angel's actually pointing to the notes in the thing and start on the music.
What do you make
Did
of?
the-
Sorry, Bob.
Me again. The other thing that they've been doing is, up until very recently, all music was in analog. And an analog is like a wave.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure whether you can see that, but it's a wave.
Wait for the noise become digital.
Now, then what they've done is they made it go digital. Now, because a digital wave, or digital is just a block of information, and it's square wave,
Yeah.
that it's unable to record the rounded bits.
Yeah.
There's always a bit missing. Now, one of my acquaintances said he's a classical trained jazz musician. He said he listens to records, but he only ever hears CDs. And one of my other friends says, yeah, it's because, I mean, I told him about the analog and the digital, and he said, well, those bits that are missing are the soul to the music.
Yeah.
And when I was a teenager, in the olden days, I would sit there with my headphones on and I'd be reading.
Oh, they had headphones back then.
And I'd be listening to the music and I'd be reading the lyrics, you know, of the album cover. And I used to sit and listen to it as a 15-year-old. I used to sit and listen to music. Whereas with digitalised music, it's like, put it on and it's like, I'll go and wash the dishes, or I'll go and wash the car.
Yeah.
You know, because it fails to hold that sort of level of attention. And over the last 10 years when I've been sitting listening to music overnight, and I've been thinking, I've found that because it's digitised, when the music comes on, okay, it's digitised music, it's an analogue signal like radio too, but it's a digitised signal. And what happens is, I just go off thinking about something else.
Yeah.
But when somebody starts talking again, which is analogue, I listen to what they say. When it finishes, I'm then off again in another world. Now, the other advantage to having it digitised, as in films, which is a digital signal, you know, a series of little photographs all strung together and run through very quickly, they can take one of them out and put in, I want a Coke or a McDonald's. And then at the interval, they find out loads of people go down and get themselves a Coke or, you know, a McDonald's.
Yeah.
And they can do the same with music. They can put blocks
They are doing
of
it. They do it with
information
pop
into a
music.
digitised sound. And that's why everything's going digital.
Yeah.
So that they can send us subliminal, well, I think, so they can send us subliminal messages.
Oh, they're doing it with pop music.
Lady Gaga, look at that.
Yeah.
There you go. I think there's something with Gaga's music, there's some sort of, I won't say magical or spell, but it wouldn't surprise me. That was another question I was going to sort of ask with you as a fan of classical. Are you aware, you know, the stories that they were initiates of secret societies, Mozart, Beethoven, and they knew the secrets, they were given the keys, as it were. How to mathematically write perfect songs, and it was all esoteric and all of it.
Yeah.
And that's why it speaks to us and still speaks to us and resonates now, because they were told how to actually, there you go, just these are the keys, they're all esoterics and
Yeah.
Could I ask just one question? Have you ever been very quiet at night when there's no sound at all anywhere, and you're just lying there sleeping, but you're awake, and you feel as if you're resonating with the universe itself?
Yeah.
I have felt it, but only once.
I do. I feel that.
Can you feel that?
I feel it every time I do Tai Chi.
Do you?
That's why
Interesting.
certain places doing Tai Chi is better
You
than.
can feel it, can't you? You can hear that. You
Yeah.
feel the universe, as if you're in with it.
Well, if you do Tai Chi in this room now, you'll get benefit out of it. If you go on the park under a tree, just blow your mind compared to what it would be like in here.
Amazing.
You feel that resonance, that
Yes, I
actual
you
resonance.
find you resonate with it.
Yeah.
I've only really felt it really strong, very strong on one occasion.
The other thing that's in pop music as well is sounds which we can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a young lady who could go up to 9 different, from very, very, very low to go up to the right full through, right all through the octaves, right through to the top, from the very bottom. Her name was, oh, it's a long time ago. Her name was Emma Sumac. She was a foreign young lady, an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Right. All the octaves.
All the octaves.
Mm.
If you get a chance, listen to The Underwear Goes Inside the Pants by Lazy Boy TV.
That's great.
That's a great sort of protest song.
Yeah.
Really hilarious.
Did anything of that thing they did on Ghostbusters called not Ghostbusters, on a telly once, Mythbusters, is it that bunch of American Mythbusters lot? The brown note,
Ah, yes.
very frequency undetectable, but yet you can see it pulsating through this massive wall of speakers behind them. Kind of suss out where the brown note is. It's subsonic. You can't hear it. It's just a huge bloody pounding speakers. Do you see that?
Oh no, I know.
And any Mythbusters say it's about a croc, don't they?
Gatekeepers like Mythbusters.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But then, apparently, because the military have got a note in a resonance, which you can point at you like a non-lethal weapon,
Yeah.
and which will just cause you at the battlefield or to just release your bowels, you know, just these type of tricks.
Well,
Kind of- They said it.
The way I am,
Yeah, they
my
are
sense of
usually
humour
the
now,
anti-bunkers.
I'd love to go to Crufts and just sit there with a dog whistle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what the government's doing to us.
Exactly.
Little distracting noises here and there.
Pity we can't do it back.
We will do it.
Oh yeah.
We're going
I
to do
hope
it
so.
back. We are doing it
I
back.
hope that we can.
So it's a lawful rebellion.
With the brown noise, you're saying that anything, if there's a note that can make humans instantly relax their bowels, and there's a note that you can sing that'll shatter glass, what isn't there? You know, if we're all just matter resonating at a certain frequency, it can be disrupted by another frequency.
Well, I said there's that frequencies what bring buildings down.
Yeah. And if you can bring a building down, we're just a load of cells held together that are resonating at the right frequency to make them cells.
Yeah.
What can't you do?
Exactly.
If you put a sheet of paper, turn the speaker on its side, put a sheet of paper on it, put your iron filings on it, and go through the microphone, oh, all the filings will position themselves into a circle, and you can do that with a load of other sounds as
Cymatics,
well.
isn't it? That's cool. Cymatics is really interesting, isn't it? If you change the tones and the frequencies, you get beautiful geometric patterns. that
Standing
change.
waves and things.
There's a certain note that makes a humanoid sort of shape, very clear head, arms, legs, you know. So if there's a resonance and a frequency that makes a humanoid shape, what? Maybe we were resonated into form.
Okay.